What's up guys, TommieBAcademy here, and in today's video, I'm gonna treat you like one of my athletes. We're gonna go through 5 drills to make you a better snowboarder and have way more control of your turns and your snowboard. Let's go. So the whole point of this video is to make sure that you guys have so much control of your snowboard that you're able to use that somewhere else. And that might be the trees, that might be carving, that might be in the park. Wherever it is, the more control you have of your snowboard, the more likely you're gonna be able to do bigger tricks and land and do more cool things. So the first thing we're gonna start with is just some really quick edge rolls. Now, one of the biggest struggles people have in snowboarding is being in a right body position. So if you haven't seen this video before, make sure you go check that out because I talk about the 5 most common challenges and bad postures that people have. Once you guys are in a more stance and optimal position, that's really where your snowboarding is gonna unleash to the next level. So the very first drill we're gonna get into is quick ankle rolls / carving. Of course, make sure you choose an appropriate run that's not super steep and not super mellow, right in the middle. That's what we're looking for. Point your board straight down the fall line. You're gonna take your lead shoulder and point it over the nose of your board. So your shoulder is not wide open, but it is stacked and perpendicular to the lead binding. After that, you're gonna take your belly button and you're gonna sink down maybe like a 3 or 4 out of 10, so you have some flexion in your knees. You're not super tall, but you're not overly small. Now, with that said, as you point your board down the fall line, you're gonna make quick carves. Now, how we do that on our heel side, what I want you guys to think about doing is lifting all 10 of your toes at the top of your boots at the same time. That's gonna make a quick engagement and a quick carve. Now, if you're skidding and you're not getting a definitive pencil line in the snow, that's because you're skidding and your weight is too much forward, too much back, or you're pivoting. The idea is to have a nice slice in the snow and make sure you lift up both feet at the same time. If you're doing one more than the other, it can definitely cause you to pivot. Don't do that. So lift up really quickly on your toes. Now, because you're using your toes and your ankles, it's gonna be very fast. So be gentle with it the first time and progress your way into understanding how much to engage it. When it comes to your toes, I want you to think about pressing your knees over the front of each of your toes like this, so that my knees are pushing forward. As I do that, we're gonna create a high tilt in our board. Notice that I'm not lifting up my heels and standing taller, but rather taking my knees and pressing them over my toes to create an edge angle. That's a big deal. Once you're comfortable with that, link those two together. The faster you can move back and forth, that's the point of the drill, is to be able to use that. What's awesome about this edge roll drill is it teaches you how to quickly engage an edge, how to quickly release that edge, how to be in a body position that allows our lower body to do some really awesome stuff without affecting the upper body. So practice this, start small, progress your way in, and then once you're feeling pretty awesome, have a buddy film it, tag me on Instagram right here, because I want to see you guys shredding it, and I want to know, does this content help you become an awesome snowboarder? Because that's what this whole channel is about. I gotta know, you gotta tell me. Appreciate you, my dudes. Do you love snowboarding, but you're ready to take your riding to the next level? Well, come ride with me and come work with me and let me be your coach. I run a camp where I'm able to identify your awesomeness and your weaknesses, and we can take your snowboarding to the next level. Want some more information? Click the link in the description below. Let's get back to the show. We're moving on to number 2. One of the biggest advantages when it comes to controlling your snowboarding is being able to do this thing called knee steering. Knee steering essentially allows your snowboard to be steered from the front of the board so you can make really awesome quick turns, but we're gonna take knee steering to a whole different level in a fun little drill, which is called a turn within a turn. So essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna lower our center mass, we're gonna get synced down, and we're gonna do these as many heel side and toe side turns as we can really rapidly while controlling the overall giant C-turn. This means I'm gonna make toe side, heel side, heel side as we go across the fall line. And then I'm gonna progressively control the board to go more down the fall line and then to go across the fall line so that it does make that giant C-turn. Now the key to this drill is implementing knee steering, keeping your center of mass as low as you can, and then again, just like the previous drill, allowing our lower body to work super independently from the upper body, allowing us to do this. Now, this is gonna be challenging for you guys if you do not have awesome body position and timing. Make sure that your lead shoulder is pointing in the direction that you want to go. So as you start to go across the fall line, it's pointing across the fall line. As I want to go down the fall line, my shoulder's going down the fall line. And then again, as we finish the turn across the fall line. But that lead shoulder's got to be in a pretty awesome position, helping us and guiding us in the direction. But if our shoulder is going this way, but our body wants to go this way, and we're completely contradicting each other, it does make it really hard. One of the biggest mistakes or challenges that people are gonna do is they're gonna back steer and they're just gonna swing their back foot around like this, like a rotor in a boat, versus actually knee steering. You should definitively feel a turn coming from the front end of your board. You could look back up, hail, and see the definitive turns versus just a bunch of smearing. The next thing we're gonna dive into is called airplane turns or hop turns. Now this is a variation of a carve, so you definitively wanna see a line in the snow. And what we're trying to do is we're gonna go heel side to toe side, but from that edge transfer, going from edge to edge, you're actually gonna jump in the air. What we normally do with a turn is we go from one edge and then our board will actually flatten out on the ground and we'll go to another edge. Essentially this drill is we're gonna eliminate that actual transfer from edge to edge on the snow and we're gonna make that in the air. Now the keys to this is you wanna really drive off of your board at the same time so you're definitively taking off on both feet. You're gonna retract your knees and you're gonna land on the other edge. Now, a couple key points on your toe side turn. You're making that toe side turn, you actually have your ankles that you can jump off of and it makes it a lot easier to spring off of your feet. And then you bring your knees up and then as you land on the next edge, which is your heel side edge, really definitively think about keeping your toes up and landing on a heel edge. Then when you're going and cruising and vibing on your heel side edge, you do not have the ankle to spring off of. So we're gonna have to move our energy from our ankles to our knees to allow us to get off of the snow as high as possible. So you're gonna wanna push your knees into the ground as hard as you can, spring off the snow, both feet at the same time, retract your knees, pull your legs underneath you, and then place your landing gear, like an airplane, back on that toe side edge. I like to think about placing my toe side down, but then also pushing my knees over my toes to ensure that I'm staying in that carved turn. It's really easy, whether it's heel side or toe side or heel side, to let that edge dump and go flat, and that's not what we're trying to do. Definitively take off on an edge, land on a new edge, and this drill is actually really super useful for control, air awareness, half pipe, hips, and even jumps, being able to take off on a definitive edge and land on a definitive edge. So if you do this drill, you're just gonna become a better snowboarder. So the next thing that we're gonna dive into is this crazy thing called a dolphin turn. Essentially, we're building on the airplane turns, but making it a little bit more challenging by integrating independent flexion extension. So you know in the last drill, we took off both feet at the same time, we landed both feet at the same time. This time, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna definitively do an ollie, which means that we're gonna take off, we're gonna decamber our board and take off with our tail of our board to leave the ground last, intentionally getting our board to look like this. And then we're gonna spring in the air, we're gonna change edges, and we're gonna land more of a nose first, and then reverse control it on the way down. Now the goal here is to have independent flexion extension, simply meaning, can this leg go up or down in opposition or independently of the other leg? What that's gonna allow us to do is have more control, whether it's in the bumps, in the moguls, or as a recovery move. A lot of these drills we're doing today is a versatility task, putting our body in these crazy different positions, and can we stay balanced and in control? And this is a part of that. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna try to find a very similar place we did the last drill. We're gonna point our board down the fall line. We're gonna get into a definitive heel side carve. As we heel side carve, we're gonna get a little low, and when we're ready for that edge change, we're gonna retract our lead knee. We're gonna lean back, decamber our board, spring up from our heel, and then we're gonna explode, get up in the air. Then we're gonna shift our belly button over the new edge, land with the front of your nose on your toe side edge first. You're gonna retract and keep tension in your back leg so that you can really control the nose to tail coming down. And then, of course, we're gonna ride and we're gonna do a nice toe side turn, and then we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other foot. So we're gonna go heel side carve when we're ready to change the edge. We're gonna retract our lead knee, we're gonna spring, and then we're gonna do the opposite thing. So try this. Once you feel pretty awesome about your airplane turns, definitely give this a try. And of course, tag me. I want to see if you guys are ripping it up, see how you guys are doing, and are you progressing with these drills? It's hard for me to know, so definitely tag me on Instagram so I know what's going on. The next, and one of my favorite drills next, is called a toe-to-toe. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to make a toe side turn. We're gonna jump, we're gonna explode, we're gonna do a 180, and then somehow, magically, not magically, we're gonna land on a new toe side edge. Now this does require us to get low, this does require us to explode, and equally as important is we gotta be able to spin with our shoulders, land with our shoulders in the direction we wanna go. And this is a 180, but sometimes I like to go like 210 degrees to ensure that I'm really leaning over that toe side edge and getting that edge to hook. And the more I can land in an edge, the better. Now, why this drill is really awesome is it helps your confidence and your skills when it comes to landing switch tricks. Also, let's say you're cruising down the mountain and your leg's getting tired and you just want to pop over. Well, you can pop over, land in a definitive edge, and then ride away. It's a very cool versatility slash freestyle slash just a fun thing to do. Cool. Tag me, let me know how you did. Feel like that drill is a little too gnarly for you? What you can do is do toe-to-toes without jumping. And then you can really define and refine and feel good with your movement. So try this variation. And on that note, guys, that's 5 drills that you can practice. You can make them as challenging or as easy as you would like. And thank you so much for all the love, support. You guys are amazing. Nothing but love. We out.